So often, some of my best insights that have produced the most amazing results with horses have been the opposite of the way that just about everybody else does it. Funny that. And so it is with the way that I teach beginner riders to ride brilliantly and happily, and the way I help advanced riders find a relaxed but incredibly powerful and magnetic seat. Most of us were taught to ride in such a way that we programmed tension into our bodies that was not useful to us in terms of being really, really good riders. I teach riding in a way that looks slow, but turns out to be faster and certainly a whole lot more fun. This body that you're watching hanging over Bobby's back is Jeremy, a young Korean student of mine who is an absolute beginner rider, and you're watching his first experience of hanging over a horse's back. The key to riding with no adverse tension in your body is developing a comfort zone, is being happy and comfortable with every baby step that you take. And being comfortable about sliding off the horse is a pretty important baby step for a beginner. This footage is Jeremy getting on for the very first time. Just look at how comfortable he feels about that. You know, that's lovely. For those of you who didn't see Jeremy's magnetic butt preparation on the vaulting horse, there's a separate lesson about that on this YouTube channel. The next baby step of teaching this beginner rider how to ride is to create a comfort zone in just being on the horse's back. And creating a comfort zone means developing a sense of happiness on Bobby's back. This is the kind of thing you did when you were kids, just hanging out on the back of your horse, being with them. These baby steps are an incredibly important part of developing a comfort zone sitting on a horse. And that comfort zone is what your happiness depends on. Did you notice Bobby licking and chewing throughout this session with Jeremy? If you've had the 6 keys to happiness with your horse, you'll understand what that means. But if you haven't seen those free lessons yet, then go to my website and get them. They're such good lessons, it's hard to understand that they're freebies. This footage is taken on the next day. Jeremy was already deeper in his comfort zone right from the very beginning. He's got a lovely, strong, magnetic butt on Bobby's back. And what we're doing here is grazing Bobby while Jeremy sits on his back. Now, this might seem like no big deal, but what I want you to notice is all the tiny little movements that happen in Bobby's body as he's grazing. And Jeremy's learning to go with all those little tiny movements and develop a strong comfort zone with his lovely magnetic butt, with those small movements before he goes into the bigger movements of the walk. It's an excellent baby step. I can't recommend this too highly for those of you who are advanced riders too. You'll get a whole new perspective about your seat on your horse. When this grazing is completely in Jeremy's comfort zone, and when he has a deep sense of peacefulness and happiness about those tiny movements, only then would we move on to the next step of walking. If the idea of baby steps that has you in a deep place of confidence with your horse appeals to you, then I expect you will love my online program, From Your Horse's Heart. We teach this magnetic butt in your chair in such a way that when you sit on a horse, you get it like Jeremy did in this lesson. And you can find out all about this on my website. I hope you enjoyed this lesson about slowing down to find confidence and happiness.